not a possum law. What would you say?
Yeah, Gumbamelia.
Gumbumelia, Cytorexilon. But if you look closer, let me bring some to you. Let me bring some all around. I'll bring some all around. Look closer. Look closer at this thing, and you may see evidence. You may see evidence. Anybody have a guess on what that could be?
Can I see that?
It is a miner. It looks like a snail. This is a moth. I know, William. I know. It's like William's mind is just shattered by this already. This is a leaf miner. It's a caterpillar that actually goes under the epidermis and goes for the mesoderm, that middle layer on the leaf. And this is Paractopa bumiliana, I think is the name. I know, I make up half of this. But Grace, good to see you, Grace. But that's a really, really cool moth right there. That's very, very host specific too. So it's found just on Gumbumelia. So a very interesting thing. And I don't know if any of y'all sort of looked at the little mines of these, the little lines right there. That's the size of the caterpillar. So the caterpillar, itty bitty tiny thing that makes a moth that's also itty bitty tiny. So all around us, moths are present. So way, very cool. That's a neat.
What's the moth look like?
The moth, it looks brown. It's an itty bitty tiny thing. It's kind of tubular. It's sort of a tubular moth. They don't come to lights though. So it's a weird one that I don't know if I've even seen an adult in real life. I've seen pictures of the adults, and they are 2-3 millimeters. If you don't know millimetric system, that's it exactly right. That's there we go. Yeah, that is so tiny. I mean, they're crazy tiny.
Zach, he'll take a picture of it.
Yes, Zach will take a picture of it. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Guys, it is good to see y'all today. Great to see y'all today. I was not lamenting. It's not a lament. I was curious about the temperature today. Holy moly! I see long sleeves. I see long sleeves. What the heck? Look at you, Frank. Long sleeves, man. It is quite nice. It is quite nice that we can get some cooler temperatures for a couple days, and then I think it goes back up to 90 in like 3 or 4 days. So why don't? It's Texas. Yeah. Don't like the weather. Wait 5 minutes is what my grandpa would always say. It is great to see y'all today. It looks like y'all did lots of great work today. Thank you again for your service out here on behalf of the state of Texas. I'll go ahead and say it. Thank you for your service. By the power vested in me, thank you for your service. Yes. So if you don't know, my name is Sam Kieschnick. I think I know several of y'all, but not all of y'all. It's good to meet y'all. Good to see y'all. I'm an urban wildlife biologist here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm super lucky. I get to work throughout the Metroplex, from McKinney to Burleson, from Waxahachie to Decatur, and everywhere in between. I love it. I love it. And there's so many good projects like this that are happening throughout the Metroplex. You know, there is in a hopeless world, there is this sprinkling of hope that when you look at it, it changes the taste of the meal. And it is beautiful. So there is a lot of good stuff going on. Trust me, there's a lot of good stuff. Why don't we talk a little bit about moths? We're going to talk. Grace, you want to talk about moths? No. Stop it.
She wants you to talk about it.
Okay, you want me to talk about it? We'll talk together about moths. And Catherine? No. Marion is also recording, and one of my vices is that I wiggle around when I talk. I walk around. I just get so excited about stuff, so it's hard for me to glue in place. So I'll try my best.
You do what you want to do.
Okay, I'll do what I want to do.
Please say otherwise.
Okay. Okay. It borderlines obnoxious or contagious. I'm not sure which one. It's a fine line sometimes. So we're going to talk about moths. And I hope everybody has the chance, if you're able to join us tonight. We're going to be doing some black lighting. We're going to be doing some mothing out here. Eli, are you going to come?
I'm considering it. I'm very close.
Okay,
I live
good.
a little ways away, so I'll have to drive back.
It's
but I'm-
worth the trip, trust me. It's going to be worth the trip. We are going to celebrate and document a lot of bugs tonight with our black lights. But before we start about that celebration of looking at the moths, why don't we talk for a second about moths? And we're going to make this a conversation. I'm going to pick on you, Hester. I'm going to pick on you with questions because I'm going to get back from all the students that you asked questions to as a teacher. Hester, what good are moths?
Oh, wow.
Go ahead.
You want the list?
Sure, I'm ready for a
Well,
list.
first of all, I love to see them at night. They make good food for the birds.
Good food.
Whoever else is out, whatever it is.
Isn't that a weird
And
thing?
they do a lot of pollinating.
Yes, to be a goal, I hope to be eaten someday. It's a weird goal. It's a weird goal in life. Maybe it's more of a role, perhaps, but it's a weird goal in life of I hope at one point in my life I shall be eaten. But that is kind of the role of moths in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So this little Paractopa, this itty bitty moth, it is going to be eaten. It's going to be eaten by something. That's kind of its role in the ecosystem. It is an itty bitty, again, you did it perfectly, that 2 or 3 millimeter little thing, it's eaten by something a little bit bigger, and that something that's bigger than that will eat that, so it's crucially important in the ecosystem. Hester was also talking about pollinators. Now, it's true that some moths do pollinate, and the pollination may be more accidental than with bees. With bees and wasps, they will actively be collecting that pollen. They're collecting that pollen in their dense hairs as they go back to their hives or go back to their babies to feed them. With moths, it may be more accidental. With moths and butterflies, they visit the flowers, some pollen inevitably rubs up on them, and as they get dusty, they'll fly back to another plant and fertilize it, pollinate it that way. So it may be more accidental, and they're probably not quite as effective pollinators, but yes, they still do it. So moths, vitally important in the ecosystem. Something else that moths do, actually, Josh, let me pick on you.
Okay.
What is a baby moth? Go.
Caterpillar.
Attaboy, just like we practiced. So a caterpillar, and caterpillar's role in life, do you know what it is? What would it be?
Also being eaten.
Being eaten? Yes, I hope to be eaten someday, but I'm going to do a lot of eating in the meantime.
Before that.
Before I get eaten, I'm going to start eating. And I'm going to eat and eat and eat. And Ann and I were talking about passion vine earlier. And what's the butterfly that eats passion vine?
Swallowtail.
Dana, have you ever had gopher-delaries eat all of your passion vine?
I think I have too much passion.
Too much? Okay, so you're overloaded with passion vine, but they eat tons of it. Tons and tons of it. So the caterpillar's role or goal in life is to eat. Eat and eat and eat and eat. That is what they do, and in many cases, our moths, as is with the case with butterflies, they are specialists. So they're feeding on one type of plant. I'll come back to this guy. Paractopa bumiliana only eats bumelia or chitum wood or cytorexilon, this guy. It only eats this guy. And yes, Matt, where you're like, oh, cytorexilon, that's the genus. Yeah, so it only feeds on this. Other examples, I see some sage over there. I see, that looks like maybe autumn sage over there. We had some tropical sage. Scarlet sage. All of these have specific hosts too. There's a pyrausta, a little triangular moth. I bet you $1.25 we'll see some of those tonight that feeds just on that salvia. So we have specific host for specific butterfly or moth species. So the documentation, the seeing of moths in the ecosystem, it gives us an idea of how many different plants we see. So not only are the insects themselves the moths foundational to the ecosystem, they give us an idea of the different species that we'd expect to see. I like to talk about the valley a lot. I love the valley, and I saw your hand go up. I love the valley too. I love the valley. You've got a question, Grace. Shocker. Shocker. Grace has a question. But I did some mothing down the valley, the lower Rio Grande Valley of Texas. If you're not familiar, it's there at the very bottom. Some of the black lighting I've done was in no man's land, south of the wall, but north of the river. Mind-blowing stuff. Just mind-blowing. I know, it was incredible. The diversity was just magnificent. But down in the valley, I also did some black lighting outside of a cornfield. So it was just that cornfield. Not nearly as many moths outside of the cornfield as I had in the other places. Why? Why?
Lack of diversity.
Lack of diversity. You got it. So I didn't see many moths. That told me, obviously, in that cornfield, there weren't many other plants. But in that other places, in the no man's land south of the Sable Palm Sanctuary that I went, when I did black lighting there, I saw tons of diversity. It told me, hey, there's a lot of plant diversity here too. So it's a fun way, and hopefully if you come tonight, we'll see diversity. It begets diversity. Diversity begets diversity. So all of your work out here of putting in plant diversity is going to lead to insect diversity, which in turn, Hester, what does insect diversity lead to?
Diversity in what can eat it.
Diversity of bug eaters.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So our birds are the things that eat those birds, the mammals, the snakes, the herps, everything. So really, when I celebrate moths, I am celebrating the foundation of the ecosystem. It's the foundation of the ecosystem. Grace, you had that question.
And I'm sorry, I was a little late, but you may have covered this already.
Yes.
What's the difference in behavior and everything between butterflies and moths?
Oh, great question. Great question, Grace. So moth versus butterfly. And there's a great book, one of my favorite books. If you're looking for a good book to read, there is one by Thomas Eisner called For Love of Insects. For Love of Insects. It is such a cool book. Oh, it's such a great book. And good, I even see a few people writing that down. For Love of Insects. You've got to read that book.
I have that on my list.
You've got it on your list. Read it in public. Just read it in public as you walk around to show everyone that you are in love with insects. It's a conversation starter. Way more than like Hunger Games or anything like that. So it is just a great book. But Thomas Eisner, a chemical ecologist, he talks all about butterflies and moths. And he gives an illusion, an idea, a metaphor for butterflies and moths. He says butterflies and moths are kind of like the Romans and the barbarians. During the Roman period, you had the people of Rome, which were the Romans, and then you had the barbarians. Everyone else that lived in the rest of the world was not a Roman, therefore they were a barbarian. It's the same way with butterflies and moths. With butterflies, we see them, we go, oh, how beautiful, how gorgeous. That must be a Roman. And then everything else is the moth. But the reality is, just like then, in the time of the Roman Empire, the barbarians had their own cultures. They had their own ways of speaking, ways of living, ideologies, all that sort of stuff. So there is more diversity among the barbarians than there are among the Romans. That's a way to say, A, there's a lot more moths than there are butterflies. Right now in Texas, we've got about 5,500 species of moths documented. Grace, how many can you name real quick? Okay, that's all right. Paractopa bumiliana, you knew this one, you knew this one. Okay, we got one. So far in DFW, we've documented about 1,200 species of moths. 1,200 species of moths just in the 9 counties that make up DFW. Tremendous diversity. Tremendous diversity. I don't know the counts of butterflies in DFW. I bet it's a couple hundred. Way less. Way less. So by numbers, there's more moths than there are butterflies. But by behavior, they're different too. So butterflies active during the day, they are diurnal, typically diurnal. Every once in a while you'll have a butterfly that wakes up at night and comes to a moth sheet to see all the barbarians, like, whoa, weirdos. So they're typically diurnal, typically active during the day. There are some moths that are also active during the day. Has anyone seen the sphinx moths?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
yes.
hummingbird sphinx?
Yes.
Those moths, they're cool. Crazy cool. The lantanas, you'll see them fly by the lantanas. Here's my challenge. I've got a dare for you. Next time you see one, I challenge you, I dare you to get closer to it. Normally, they're pretty chill. they'll be, when I say chill, they're super active, but they're going just around the plant. But if you be cautious enough, you can put your ear right next up to them. Try it. Try it, Hester. I try it. Try it. If you have a big section of lantana, they'll stay around there for a while. But you can even hear that pitter-pattering of the wings. Crazy, crazy cool. But most of our moths are active during the night. They're nocturnal or crepuscular, active during dawn and dusk. Another weird example of some physiological change, or not physiological change, but the different looks of them, their antenna. Butterflies and moths have very different antennae. The antenna of butterflies are always clubbed. They have a little stalk and a club at the end of it. So the skippers, the fritillaries, the monarch butterflies, all of those, when you look closer, you'll see the antenna has a club at the end of it, or basically the congregation of chemoreceptors there at the base. Moths, instead, they have either a straight antenna or they have very feathery antenna. The straight antenna, the ones without all the feathers, the little fingers, those are typically the females, whereas the males have a ton of feathers in their antenna. Any guesses? Why would you think that a male would have more feathers on their antenna or more fingers?
Chemoreceptors.
Sexual selection? What'd you say?
Chemoreceptors.
Chemoreceptors, so it's probably a little bit of both. So if you have more surface area of chemoreceptors, if you have more feathers up there, you're going to have more chemoreceptors to smell, sense the pheromones of the females. The females still need chemoreceptors, so they're still analyzing the ecosystem just as much, but they're not searching for those pheromones as the males are. So the females typically have less filiform or fingers on their antenna. So they have different types of antenna. So we have their activity, different times. We have the antenna shape, a little bit different. Also the numbers, a little bit different numbers. So those are some ways you tell butterflies from moths. Long way around that answer, but that's a way you tell it. In reality, they're both in the same order, Lepidoptera, lepido meaning scaly, ptera meaning wings. If you've ever touched a butterfly or a moth, have you seen that dust that comes off? That little bit of dust that comes off. Why? Why do you think? And go ahead. I saw you about to say, you're going to go, do you know why? Why?
The wings have scales on them.
They do. Why would natural selection or would evolution select things that have scales on their wings? Do you have a guess? I won't make fun, I promise.
I don't know.
It's okay, don't know. Anybody have a guess?
Waterproof?
More lift? Okay, we're thinking sort of like of the dynamics of them. It's a good guess, but they don't have anything really to do with their flight. So a butterfly or moth can fly completely fine with 0 scales. Okay?
What about waterproofing?
Waterproofing, so maybe kind of a sort of like a regulation or like a coat that they have. Good guess, but there's not really any thermal regulation that occurs on the wings.
Is it for protection?
Slippery surface?
Protection? Another great idea. Protection from what? From the rain? Probably not the rain, but protection.
Camouflage?
Camouflage, so they have these sort of, it blends in with stuff, or it's showier for sexual selection. But there's something else that we think, and I say we collectively, scientists think, that evolution and natural selection provided or caused the ones with scales on their wings to thrive. Way back when. Oh my gosh, I should have known what era this was. 100 million years ago, give or take. The main predator of our moths, at that time moths, were spiders. And spiders have webs. They had webs. And these sticky webs would grab onto anything that sticks on them. But if Frank is the web here, if I'm flying over here, I get stuck in this, and I'm able to fly off with a few of my scales left there, I survive. I survive. So that's why Lepidoptera have these scaly wings. That's the evolutionary description of them. Now, nature have also selected them for lots of cool colors and cool patterns and camouflage and all that sort of stuff. But that's what we think the reason for scales on the wings was the flight into the web and then being able to fly off. losing some scales but still being able to survive. Kind of a neat way to see that. Say what?
Do they grow back?
Great question. No, they don't grow back. So butterflies and moths, when they get to the adult stage, no more shedding. No more shedding, no more different stages there. They're adults. They're done with that exoskeleton replacement. As caterpillars, they will go through different molts. Yeah, those of you that have had caterpillars before, you've seen them get bigger and bigger and bigger, but they also leave some of their skin back. Yeah, Dan.
How long do adults live?
Great
The moth
question.
and butterfly.
A great question. And the standard answer is that it depends. Depends on the species, I know. Yes and no. It depends on the species. Some of them, this Paractopa bumiliana, maybe a few days as an adult. Maybe a few days. If I'm not mistaken, this is a tortricid, and they have vestigial mouth parts, so they're not even eating as adults. So they get all of their nutrition from the baby stage, and as adults, if you can't eat, you can't get new energy, so you live long enough to mate, and then you die. Most of our moths are that way. And that's kind of the point of adult cycle in most of our bugs, is you become an adult to reproduce, and then you become food for something. So it's not a long life that they have. It's not a long life that most of our butterflies and moths have. With some even of our bigger moths. Has anybody here ever seen a Luna moth before? Show of hands. Anybody seen a Luna moth before? Oh, they're fantastic. They're cool. Where did you see one, Dana?
At the Audubon place.
Oh,
You know, over in Dallas.
oh, Trinity River Audubon Center?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. And we're
Seen it over here too.
You've seen them here? Oh yes, so they get here. The caterpillars are specialists on sycamore. They use sycamore and, not sycamore, I'm sorry, sweet gum. They use sweet gum, and they use some pecans as well. Typically they're more active or more present in the East Coast. So the more east you go, the more you're likely to pick up Luna moths, but they're found here. Luna moths have vestigial mouth parts. When I say vestigial, that basically means they don't work anymore. So vestigial, non-working anymore. Our wisdom teeth are likely vestigial. Our appendix is likely a vestigial organ. That doesn't really have. No, what, you've got yours? Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's on the right. Okay, mine was shifted, so I just wiggled around a little bit, tried to shift that down. But it's a vestigial. It doesn't really have a function anymore. So with Luna moths, they have vestigial mouth parts, non-functioning. So that big, gorgeous, lovely Luna moth, the adult stage only lasts for maybe a week, if that. So it's very short. The caterpillars can live for quite a while. Some caterpillars actually overwinter in leaf litter. So they will overwinter in our leaf litter either as the caterpillar or as the pupa, as the cocoon. While I'm on that, let's talk about leaves. The importance of leaves. I love leaves. I love leaves. And leaves on the ground are a great, great thing. Oh, it kills me when people want to rake up every leaf in their yard.
Yep.
It just kills me. Now, I'm not going to throw stones because I too have some horrible lawn area that I've maintained. That's okay. And I will rake them from that lawn area, but I don't throw the leaves away. They get added to the compost or they just stay on the ground. They are acting as a blanket for the decomposition, but they're also acting as habitat for our young moths as they overwinter or as they persist in the ecosystem. Another difference between butterflies and moths, just remembered it, is the chrysalis versus the cocoon. So the pupa stage, just real quick, we have the egg, starts out with the egg, then we have the caterpillar, which is the larva stage, then we have the pupa, which is the cocoon or the chrysalis. With butterflies, the chrysalis is above ground. So that it's above ground chrysalis. You will see monarch chrysalis or gulfritillary chrysalis. You'll see them, you'll actively see them. As opposed to cocoons, most of the cocoons are near to the ground, closer to the ground. There are some exceptions. The polyphemus moth, the silkworm moths, those can be up a little bit, but most of the cocoon or the pupal stage is in and towards the ground. So that's another difference between butterflies and moths. So that stage can last quite a while.
Why are they?
Yeah.
Why are they low to the ground?
Think along with me. Why would you say? What do you think? during winter time, would you rather
Warmer,
be
okay.
up here or kind of towards the constant temperature of the ground? Yeah, and it's kind of confusing too. Why then would butterflies want it to be up higher? I'm not sure. Exactly sure, and I don't know if they overwinter in the chrysalis stage. Maybe some do. I don't know. But a lot of our moths do it towards the ground because of the thermoregulation. And underneath leaf litter and every good compost pit, when you put your hand down in there, it's warmer. It's a lot warmer because of the metabolic processes of the bacteria and microbes and all that sort of stuff. So thermoregulation is one of the reasons that we do it. So butterflies, moths, they are indeed different. They can have different life stages or lifespans too. Another fun thing, name it if you know it.
Privet.
Oh! Anybody remember what you're supposed to do with it? When yes, pull it, but Lynn remembers. You say privet. Eli remembers. Privet. This is a plant. Oh, here's a plant question for you. Do you know what plant family it's in?
Olive.
Way to go. Oliaceae is the plant family in this. There is a moth called Palpita. Palpita is a moth. They eat privet. Do we have Palpita? Yes.
Oh, we do.
We do have Palpita. There is a native olive elbow bush that they typically select, but in some places, and if you look closely, you might see some nibblings on privet. Not many critters eat privet. It's a non-native plant. This is an unfamiliar plant for nature to select a predator for, but Palpita is a moth that eats privets. I can almost promise you tonight we will see Palpita. When we do, we celebrate it. We invite its friends to come over. Say, come on over. It's one of these really cool insects that feeds on Oliaceae, feeds on the olive family, and has been shown to eat privet. There's a spot, Village Creek Natural Area. Do you know where Village Creek Natural Area is? Let's see, it's off of East Chase, and there's a little spot that you park in over here. It's connected to Bob Finley Linear Park. If you go over there, there is a lot of their privet that's being eaten right now. It is being eaten, actively eaten by Palpita, this little caterpillar. Stay tuned on this.
They've got a lot more to go.
They do.
They have a lot.
Yes.
They have a lot
Stay
of
hungry.
privet over there.
Stay hungry, my friends. Yes. So it's one of these things that moths and butterflies, yes, they can be pests to many of our agricultural plants, to some of our favorite plants they eat, but they can also be this sort of biocontrol or potentially future biocontrol for things like privet. Yes.
So did somebody put them there, or did they just come
A
naturally?
great question. It is a natural predator. It's a native butterfly or a native moth that the caterpillars live and exist here natively. They select elbow bush. Elbow bush, if you're not familiar, that's also an olive in the olive family. Forestiera pubescens is the one that we have here. They select that one. They eat that one, but if the population is right, or if they come up upon this guy, they will utilize this too. So it's a native pest, a native caterpillar that potentially can be a useful biocontrol agent for us too. So when we see some Palpita tonight, we're going to make a point of it, and we're definitely going to celebrate it too.
Can you multiply those caterpillars and release them?
I'll get some off of Temu. For you. So they'll be kind of discounted, a little bit cheaply made, but that's okay. In bulk, we'll get them in bulk. But that spot, if you want to see, and I don't know if you know the place I was talking about, that Village Creek Natural Area, it used to be called something else. I don't know. But there's a lot of privet out there, as a lot of places, but they are actively being defoliated. Yes, there's a lot. This is a plant that we struggle with. Everyone that, Josh, did you pull this one? Everyone that you pull has to serve you in the afterlife. So, Josh, you are building your army. You are building your army of future servants in the afterlife. It's a problematic plant, but hope is not lost on maybe some of our native insects utilizing it for food. So, moths, crazy important. Another thing that you'll see, and I know I'm going, golly, dang it, I'm going way long. Another thing that we'll see tonight is that the black lights don't just bring moths. They bring a lot. So tonight, what we'll be doing is I'm going to bring about 9 stations. I'll have 9 sheets. I know of a couple people that will bring some more stuff. So yes, Hester was curious, like, oh, I wonder if anybody will come tonight. Yeah, people will come tonight. People will come tonight, trust me. Some people are going to bring their own stations. What we do is we put up a white sheet. We use a UV light ultraviolet. For whatever reason, that spectrum of light attracts bugs. It brings things to those sheets. We have the sheet to kind of magnify, or I should say reflect that light out. So not only does it give us a good place to take iNaturalist photographs, which Lynn said she's going to have like 1,000 iNaturalist observations tonight alone. It not only does it give us a cool place to take a picture, but it also gives that reflection, that white reflection out. UV lights in that wider spectrum, for whatever reason, attracts bugs. For whatever reason, some people think that it might act as like the moon as they're navigating around. Now, moths, not all moths, there are a few exceptions, but most moths don't migrate. They don't migrate. So a moon or the celestial bodies, how would that help them? There's a new paper that actually showed in some slow motion photography that moths like to fly with their back to the moon. So they basically right themselves by flying with their back to the moon. When we bring the moon down to a sheet, this may cause the moth to be confused flying around that thing. They call it directional navigation. So that UV light is kind of like the moon down to the sheet, where they're going to be confused with their backs to that light. So that's why they get attracted. It's not just moths. We're going to have beetles. We're going to have flies, wasps, all this cool stuff. I hope you come. I hope you come tonight from 8 o'clock to
11 is what we advertised.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. If it's good, if it's rocking, we'll be having fun.
No, you can get out.
Yes.
Once you're in.
Yeah.
And,
So
they
a
already
great
know
point.
about-
Yeah. If you are going to come, make sure that you come before 10. Before 10. You don't have to stay the whole time. You don't have to stay the whole time. Grace, when's your bedtime?
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 in the morning. Okay, stay the whole time. Stay all the whole time. But some folks, if you get your quota, if you're like, okay, I saw my bugs and I want to shuffle off, totally cool. Absolutely, totally cool. There will be people like myself that are going to want to stay out here the whole time. But if you'd like to come, 8 o'clock to 11-ish is when we'll be doing this. It should be interesting. As we're feeling, it is cooler temperatures. It's not cold. I mean, it's not cold. I still see short sleeves. So it's not cold. Tonight, it should be around 70-ish degrees. Humidity is going to be like 90%. So we could put out a glass and it'll be full of water by the end of the night. It's going to be that muggy. So it'll be super interesting to see what shows tonight.
Yeah.
It should be super interesting. Normally, I like to say the more miserable we are, the better it is for bugs. I mean, really, the better it is for bugs. So I was kind of hoping it would have been another 90-degree night with high humidity, but we'll take 70 degrees tonight with humidity. So it should be really, really interesting.
I have a question on that. So does humidity alter like moth action in the area? Like, is it, if it's higher or lower, are they more or less likely to be active?
So what I found, it may be more anecdotal than empirical, but the higher the humidity, I've seen a lot more bugs, a lot more activity of bugs. I'm not sure the physiology behind that. I'm not sure why that is. And maybe again, it's because I'm miserable, that's my level of like, okay, I'm really miserable and I'm seeing a lot of bugs. So my misery is directly correlated with the number of bugs that show up. But typically higher humidity, I do see more. I do see more. So we'll see. In some cases, one of the black lighting events that we did at TRAC, Trinity River Audubon Center, it rained during our black lighting. And during the time of rain, not much showed up. Not much showed up. But after it rained, when it was still bumped up in humidity, we had so many bugs. So it should be interesting. We'll see how it goes tonight. Grace, you got a question?
I've got 2 questions.
Oh my gosh, one at a time, Grace.
Why are there so many more moths than butterflies?
A good question, and it is a little bit towards that barbarians versus the Romans. So on the tree of life, on the phylogram of life, the different branches of life, the branch that form the butterflies and skippers is just a single branch, as opposed to the moths that have multiple branches. So multiple branches of moths or multiple relatives of moths, as opposed to just the one relative of butterflies and skippers. So they're probably newer. Butterflies are newer evolutionarily. So newer, and also from that single branch. So fewer species of those. I think during the day, there was more competition. More competition of everything. Resources, more predators maybe too. And at nighttime, when they're using chemoreception and all this sort of stuff, different survival tactics, that probably allowed for more speciation at night. So the quick answer is, there's more branches of moths than there are of butterflies. Does that make sense? Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, before your second question, let's go for this one.
How many generations are there? My impression is that butterflies can have multiple generations, but there are moths that may only have one generation per season or two.
Beautiful question.
Yes.
So it is species dependent. So this Paractopa bumiliana, it will have multiple generations. I'm gonna have to look up. I don't know if they overwinter. I'm pretty sure they overwinter in cocoons in these guys. It's a deciduous plant, so they drop all of their leaves. So I think they overwinter in that. But they have multiple generations a year. Other critters, like our Luna moth, I'm pretty sure that Luna moths just have the single generation. That caterpillar lives for months, just eating and eating and eating and eating, getting pretty big for the one adult stage. The same thing with butterflies, is you can have multiple seasons or multiple generations per season, per year. And I'm sure there's some that just have the single generation per year. Monarchs, we can talk about monarchs. Monarchs will have one generation that stays here. One generation that stays, and grandma and grandpa are the ones that migrate. It's bonkers to think about that every generation doesn't migrate. It's just the grandmas are the third generation that migrates. One of them stays here, reproduces, lays the eggs, the caterpillars form their cocoon, the chrysalis, that butterfly comes out, and those are the ones that either stay here or fly off. So it can be multiple generations, based on the species, probably more based on the species.
Is it at all correlated to the size of the moth or butterfly?
Good question. I want to say yes. Just with the dynamics, the energy dynamics of it. That if you're bigger, you're going to be absorbing more energy. You're going to have a longer stage. But I'm not totally sure. That's a good question. Anybody else have any other questions? Grace? Oh yeah, your second question.
Okay, it was kind of related to that,
Okay.
but are all the adults vestigial in moths?
No. The mouth parts,
don't
no.
eat, yeah.
A great example, do you remember? The one that you're supposed to put your ear up to? You remember? Sphinx moth. Yes. Those hummingbird moths, they drink nectar. They are nectar visitors. They're getting energy to pop their wings a lot. So they need that saccharose, that high octane sugar from the nectar of flowers to persist, to fly around.
So are they all
Some moths-
vegetarian? The ones that eat? Are they all plant eating?
Oh, Grace, that's a third question. No. Grace, there are some crazy cool moths out there. There's one caterpillar, the sooty wing calceola, which actually feed on, oh darn it, you're doing too good of a job of cleaning the paper wasps. The paper wasp nest, the paper wasp nest. There's a caterpillar that eats baby wasps. I know! There's a caterpillar that eats baby wasps. The moth, it lays eggs pretty close to the paper wasp nest. The caterpillars crawl over and eat their larvae. Isn't it mind-blowing? There's another one called the scale-feeding wasp, moth. The caterpillars eat scale insects.
Wow.
So yes,
We need those.
they don't just eat plants. There could be specialists that feed on other
But
things.
other than the sphinxes,
Yeah.
all the adults
Yeah.
don't eat.
No, there are some that do. Another one, there's this orange one called the Alianthus webworm moth. It's orange and black, almost, I can bet you've seen them before. They're usually around the mist flowers, the mist flower group. It's a diurnal moth, and it also is feeding on the nectar. If you see a moth that comes to a flower, it's typically coming for the nectar. So it has a usable mouth. It can eat, or drink, I should say, as an adult. So not all of them have vestigial mouth parts. Some of them do, some of the moths do, but not all of them.
The rest is just an evolutionary strategy.
And
Yep.
some cannot eat, some can.
Why not eat?
And the why is a fun question. It is a fun question. And it's kind of playing with the numbers. It's saying, hey, and I know I shouldn't personify this, but it's kind of saying, hey, if I'm not going to live long, should I invest energy into having a workable digestive system? The adults don't poop.
Yeah.
Why?
They don't eat.
They don't eat.
They like cleanliness.
Yeah, just like, no, hold it, just hold it, keep holding it. So some of them don't even have a digestive system. With the non-usable mouths, why have a digestive system? So they have a digestive system as a baby, as a caterpillar, so the why question. And Grace is leaving us with a good challenge. As we see any bug, any plant, any bird, as naturalists, as nature enthusiasts, but also as interested people, we need to think why with everything. Why? Why does this postal drop its leaves? Why is it deciduous? It can be sunny in wintertime. I mean, how many Januaries are nice and sunny? So why the heck would it drop its leaves? Well, the sun isn't out quite as long. Maybe it's trying to trap some of the carbon and sequester it down in the ground. So thinking of the why, not with necessarily attention of getting all the answers. Sometimes the intent is just to postulate, just to wrestle with, I wonder why this. I wonder why, and just struggle with that answer maybe for ourselves. Maybe it's a rhetorical question. Maybe it's not even known. But it's a fun way, especially with bugs. Why do they have that shape? Why do they have that color? Why do they have this size? Why do they have multi-generations or a few generations a year? The whys are the fun question that make being a naturalist just the best thing in the world.
Okay, one last one.
Grace, you got another question. Another question. We're at your quota. Okay, go.
Are any moths migratory?
Yes. So there is one called the Black Witch. Mariposa del Muerte is the name of it. I have only seen one here in
I've seen
DFW.
them in the valley.
In the valley, I see a bunch of them.
You commented, I had a picture on iNaturalist, and
Did I
you
comment on
said,
it?
great find.
Great find, I did, which was genuine. It was a genuine great
Flew
find.
into our garage.
Now, and forgive me, what's your name?
Karen.
Karen. So when you saw that moth, it's called the Black Witch. It's arguably our biggest moth, 7-inch wingspan, a big sucker. Their host plant is the Texas ebony. So it feeds on ebony, which is a valley thing. But they migrate. They migrate far up. No idea why. Ebony does not exist further north. No idea why. But yes, they migrate. They move around. You'll find them up in Missouri. So crazy interesting. But when you found that one, Karen, when you found that one, Karen, I don't know if I said cool find, but there was a hidden message in that. So yes, it was a great find. That find could have meant three things. Could have meant that a loved one had died and was visiting you. Could have been the loved one that had died recently came and visited you.
Yeah, I know there's some mythology there.
Yes, there's some beautiful mythology. It also could have meant that you're about to win the lottery. Great find. Could meant that you're going to die soon. So I don't know if we get to choose which one of those three myths that could be, but this Mariposa del Muerte has some crazy cool mythology, crazy interesting mythology, and yes, they migrate for reasons I do not know. I also don't know if it's a seasonal migration, if it's a yearly migration. I don't know much about that. I just know that they move. They will fly all the way up to Missouri. Maybe reproduction. Don't know if Texas ebony at some point in its evolution was found in those areas. I wouldn't think so, but I don't know. Yeah, so some of them do migrate. Yeah.
Is that as far north as they go, Missouri?
So I need to look at iNaturalist. I know people have seen them up pretty far. I don't know if they go all the way up into Canada, if they're just not documented up in Canada. If you haven't seen one, Grace has seen them. Karen has seen one. They're whoppers. They look like bats. And when they fly around, you think it's a bat that's flying around. It's crazy cool. But yeah, they're able to shift, move around. Yeah. Okay, so I went long. I saw Esther was looking at her watch going,
I did not.
okay, come on, Grace, no more questions. I'm kidding. So I hope, just a show of hands, I'm kind of curious, how many of y'all are planning on coming tonight? Anybody? Good. I hope you can. If you're not able to, okay, maybe. If you're not able to, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Go there first.
We do so much. Yes. So if you want to come, if it's before 10, so you can get in. Even if it's after 10, we could probably move a car over there to let somebody in. But if you come tonight, come with a couple things. First of all, the most important prerequisite to coming tonight: curiosity. Got to bring that with you. If you don't bring that with you, we don't want you here. Okay? Okay. If you don't come with curiosity, go elsewhere. Go watch a movie or something. Go watch the latest Marvel movie. Okay? But if you come with curiosity, that's the one prerequisite. Also super helpful if you have either a headlamp or a flashlight. Tonight we are going to be putting stations. I'll have my truck kind of parked on the lawn up there, but we're going to have stations kind of throughout the trails here. So as we're walking around, even though tonight's going to be a little bit chillier, we probably won't see any snakes. We're also visitors. We are visitors here. We're visitors. So we don't want to hurt other organisms out here. So that's why, especially when I'm talking to kids, but to anyone, wherever you put a step, I want a light to be there first. So to make sure that you don't hurt anything and also you don't get hurt. So the flashlight also very important. Lynn will be showing us all how to do lots of iNaturalist observations. So Lynn will be doing lots of iNaturalist observations. I bring with me a camera too. So I have a headlamp with me and I bring a camera with me as well. So we'll have some of those. I'll have some petri dishes too if we want to catch some moths to look closer at them as well.
And then a black light, if you have a black light flashlight, then you can see all the glowing scorpions.
Scorpions would be way cool. It might be chilly. It might be chilly for scorpions, but who knows? Yeah, if you have a black light flashlight.
They're down on the ground with thermoregulation.
You got it. Move some of those leaves around. Oh, you might see a scorpion, which is crazy cool that they do that around the world. Last year when I went to Saudi Arabia, I brought a little black light with me, and we were catching scorpions out in Saudi Arabia. Way cool. Way cool. Way cool. Yeah.
In the sand?
Yes, in the rocks, basically the rocky area in the sand. It was crazy cool. I also did bring my black lights with me. A couple of the stations that I'll bring tonight are Cheapo Depot lights. They are Cheapo Depot $10 lights. They're just raving party lights, basically. Bring those guys with a little white sheet and batteries, these little portable batteries, and you can fly around the world with them. Way cool. I did it in Saudi Arabia. It was actually colder in Saudi Arabia in February and March than it was here in Texas at that time. So, but still got some cool stuff that showed up. Anybody else have any other questions?
I have one.
Please.
Okay, so it's a full moon tomorrow night.
Oh, great question.
So will that affect?
Beautiful, beautiful question. And a lot of the papers say that a full moon adds extra competition to our black lights. So that a full moon, you'll have fewer bugs. But let me also be honest with you, just anecdotal, not empirical, that on full moon nights, I still see a lot of bugs.
Also, if it's cloudy, will it matter?
If it's cloudy, then less competition. You have less competition. And I think you were mentioning about the lights up here.
Yeah.
That they may be on. If they're on, that's okay. Totally okay. These lights are probably a different spectrum of light than the UV light. The UV lights, that ultraviolet is around 390 to 400 nanometers. It's a different spectrum up there. So our lights tend to be more attractive even than bright lights like that. If they're on, cool. If they're not on, that's okay too. Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's give them a big hand.
Oh, thank you. I went long, Esther. I went long. Forgive me. Forgive me.
You see people complaining?
Yeah, Grace does.
Complain?
More questions.